My beloved child, listen closely now. This is not just another day. This is the moment where heaven leans in, where the old cycles that have followed your family like a ghost begin to shatter. I know what you've endured. I saw the fear in your mother's eyes. I heard the arguments your father never resolved. I watched the same battles move from your grandparents to your parents, and now you've been standing at the crossroads, wondering, will it stop with me? Yes, it will. You have been chosen, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine appointment. You were born into this generation at this exact time to be the one who says, enough. It had to start with you because your heart has been softened by the journey. You've walked through pain without letting it harden you. You've suffered loss without losing your faith. You've seen the failures of those who came before you, yet something inside you still whispers that there must be more. That whisper is me. I have watched your family for generations. I have seen the silent grief that was never spoken about. I have seen the fear passed down like an heirloom, wrapped in silence and shame. I have watched as poverty, addiction, pride, broken relationships, and spiritual apathy wove themselves into your lineage like a thread running through cloth. Each generation thought they were doing their best, and they were. But they didn't know how to fight it. They didn't know how to break it. They didn't know me the way you're about to. So I waited, patiently, lovingly, and then I saw you. I saw the one who would be brave enough to confront what everyone else ignored. I saw the one who would fall to their knees in surrender rather than raise their hands in complaint. I saw the one who would ask me, not just for help, but for transformation. That is why it starts with you. Because your heart is the kind that I can mold. Your spirit is the kind I can fill. Your hands are the kind I can use. But don't be deceived into thinking this will be easy. Chains don't break without noise. The spiritual patterns that plagued your family will not leave quietly. They will try to convince you that you're just like the rest. They will whisper that you're not strong enough, not holy enough, not ready. But that is a lie from the pit of darkness. For I, the Lord your God, do not call the qualified. I qualify the called. And you are called. When I looked upon your life, I saw not your failures but your faith. I saw not your history but your hunger. I saw not your weakness but your willingness. And that was enough for me. I do not need perfection. I need surrender. That is what you've offered me, even when you didn't realize it. Every tear, every whispered prayer, every sleepless night, every time you forgave when it hurt. You were saying yes to me. Do you remember the times you could have followed the same path but something stopped you? That was me. Do you remember the moments where you felt a deep resistance inside toward the way your family handled things? That was my spirit. I have been planting seeds of freedom in you long before you understood what freedom meant. I have been teaching you through pain, guiding you through confusion, and protecting you in battles you never even saw. This isn't just about you. This is about those who came before you and those who will come after you. You are the hinge on which the door of generational blessing will swing. When you chose to believe, chains began to loosen. When you chose to speak life instead of death, curses began to crumble. When you chose to trust me, even when everything around you told you not to, you began to reverse the tide. Let me make something clear. You will not do this in your strength. If you try, you will burn out. If you try to fix your family, repair your past, and carry the weight of generations alone, you will fall. That's not what I'm asking. I am not calling you to perform. I am calling you to partner. You break chains not by striving, but by surrendering. You become a turning point not by force, but by faith. And don't forget the power of your words. Speak my name over your family. Declare my truth in your home. When the atmosphere feels heavy, praise me out loud. You do not need a pulpit to preach. Your living room, your phone calls, your whispered prayers carry more power than you know. Hell trembles when a child of mine understands who they are. And you, my child, are a chain breaker. a curse cutter, a blessing bringer. I will be with you every step of the way. Even when you feel weak, I will be your strength. When you feel alone, I will be your companion. When you doubt your calling, I will remind you again and again. This started with you because I trust you, because I placed in you the heart that can carry the weight of this holy assignment. Don't let fear silence you. Don't let the enemy tell you that nothing's changing. I am the God who works in the unseen. What you feel now is the shaking before the breakthrough. What you see as silence is me preparing something greater. Stay with me. Keep worshiping. Keep praying. Keep loving. You are not failing. You are fighting. You are not overwhelmed. You are overcoming. And remember this. This change doesn't have to be loud to be real. Sometimes the most powerful transformations begin in quiet obedience, in the simple decision to forgive, in the hidden moment of choosing peace instead of pride, in the humble prayer that says, God, I don't understand, but I trust you. These are the places where curses break and blessings begin. Yes, it had to start with you, because you said yes. And through that yes, I will restore what was lost, redeem what was broken, and release what was delayed. Your family may not see it yet, but they will. And when they do, they will know. It started with you, because you started with me. Now that you know the weight of your calling, I must speak to you about the posture of your heart. Because while you have been chosen, while the chains are indeed breaking and the blessings are being set in motion, there is still a great danger that lurks, not outside of you, but within. It is the danger of drifting away from me. It is the temptation to chase the blessings instead of staying with the one who gives them. Hear me, child. Humility is your anchor. You see, the world will try to praise you for the changes it sees. People may notice that your home feels different, your words sound stronger, your legacy is shifting. They may admire your peace, your resolve, your apparent strength. And in that admiration, if you are not watchful, your heart can begin to swell with pride. But I warn you, do not confuse my favor with your own strength. Do not take the credit for what only my spirit could accomplish. Stay close to me. The moment you begin to believe that you can do this on your own is the moment the foundation begins to crack. You are not the source. You are the vessel. You are not the power. You are the conduit. If you stray from my presence, the blessings will lose their purpose. They are not the goal. I am. I gave you this assignment not because you were strong, but because you were willing to be weak in my hands. I blessed you not because you were good, but because I am. And so I ask, do not chase the blessing. Chase me. Blessings will come, yes. You will see favor. You will see joy return to places that once felt cursed. You will witness miracles in your family line that seemed impossible before. But none of these things will satisfy your soul if you are not rooted in me. The gift is not the goal. It is the evidence of my love. But it is not the source of your life. The moment you seek my hand more than my face, you will begin to feel empty again. And I do not want that for you. I want intimacy. I want relationship. I want the kind of closeness where you speak to me before you speak to anyone else. I want to be your first thought in the morning and your last word at night. I want to walk with you in the quiet moments, not just when you need a breakthrough. Do not wait until trouble strikes to return to my feet. Stay there. Live there. This is what keeps you unshaken. This is what keeps the transformation alive. Your heart aligned with mine. Your spirit in constant communion with my spirit. When the world applauds, bow lower. When people praise your peace, point to me. When new doors open, consult me before you walk through them. Because not every open door is divine. Not every opportunity is from me. Some are distractions in disguise. And yes, distractions will come. The enemy knows he cannot steal your calling, so he will try to blur your focus. He will place good things in your path to pull you away from the best thing, me. He will tempt you with recognition, with comfort, with even more blessings. hoping that your heart will begin to value the gift more than the giver. But you must remember, I am the prize. I am the portion. I am the source of all that is good in your life. When your eyes stay fixed on me, you will not be shaken. Storms may come, trials may rise, people may fail you, but you will stand firm. Not because of your strength, but because of my presence. Stay close. Walk with me daily. Speak with me even when you don't have the words. Praise me even when you don't feel my presence. That is the kind of relationship I desire. Not just your obedience, but your affection. Not just your service, but your surrender. Let worship be your weapon. When confusion tries to enter your mind, turn your heart to praise. When fear knocks on your door, lift up my name. When the old ways try to rise again, raise your voice in thanksgiving. Worship is not a performance, it is a posture. It is how you stay rooted in me. It is how you fight battles without lifting your hands against another. It is how you remind your soul of who I am and who you are in me. And gratitude, my dear one. Gratitude is your shield. It guards your heart against pride. It protects you from entitlement. It reminds you that everything you have is a gift. When you thank me, even when you don't understand, you are planting seeds of unshakable faith. When you thank me in the waiting, you are preparing the ground for miracles. Gratitude is not just polite manners. It is a holy declaration that says, God is still good, even here. So I say to you again, stay close, stay humble. The more I elevate you, the lower you must bow. The more I bless you, the more you must cling to me. Let your heart be like David's, a worshiper in the field long before he wore a crown. Let your soul be like Mary's, who sat at my feet even when others were busy doing. This is the kind of closeness I long for. This is the kind of heart I can trust. Because in this journey of breaking chains and releasing blessings, it is not just about what I do through you, it's about what I do in you. The legacy I'm building is not just external, it is eternal. And I desire to shape not just your family line, but your soul. I desire to make you more like me. So let every blessing drive you deeper into my presence. Let every breakthrough bring you back to my feet. This is the discipline of divine focus, not to look to the left or to the right, but to keep your eyes on me. To run your race with endurance, not for the prize, but for my pleasure. To live your days not for approval, but from intimacy. And in doing so, you will never be shaken. You will never be lost. You will be exactly where you were always meant to be, close to me. Child, now that you have begun to walk in your calling and have chosen to stay close to me, I must reveal to you one of the greatest weapons I have placed in your hands. It is not the weapon of argument or reason. It is not the sword of your intellect or the shield of your experience. It is something the world overlooks, something simple but sacred. I have given you worship, not as tradition, but as a weapon. You must understand this. The battles you face are not merely of flesh and blood. They are spiritual. What you are feeling in your home, what you are sensing in the atmosphere of your family, what you are encountering in your mind and spirit, these are not just emotions. These are spiritual confrontations. And in these battles, physical strength will not serve you, but worship will. Worship is how you fight without lifting a hand. It is how you confront darkness without shouting. It is how you drive out fear without even speaking of it. When your voice rises in praise, heaven responds, and hell trembles. You've been told that worship is what you do at church, that it's about songs and melodies, about clapping your hands and singing on key. But I tell you now, worship is far deeper. Worship is a declaration of war. It is your spirit standing tall in the face of chaos and saying, "My God is greater." It is your soul refusing to bow to fear, even when your body feels weak. It is lifting up my name not because your life is perfect, but because I am perfect, even in your storms. When you worship, child, chains fall. Not always the visible ones, but the ones in your mind, the ones around your heart, The invisible cords that have tried to wrap around your peace and choke your joy. Those are the ones that break when you lift up my name. Do you remember the times you wept and yet felt strength return after singing to me? That was no coincidence. That was no emotional release. That was spiritual warfare. That was you using the weapon I placed in your spirit to shift the battle in the unseen realm. And this weapon, this holy, heaven-backed force, is always with you. You do not need a choir to use it. You do not need instruments to wield it. All you need is your heart turned toward me and your mouth willing to speak my praise. Even a whisper of my name spoken in faith carries the weight of eternity. When you feel overwhelmed, worship. When confusion clouds your mind, worship. When old habits try to rise again, worship. And when everything in you wants to sit in silence and despair, worship louder. That is when the breakthrough is closest. That is when the battle is at its turning point. Your worship declares to the heavens and the earth that you still believe I am good, even here, even now. Let me remind you of what happens when you worship. Angels are dispatched. Darkness flees. My presence becomes tangible. Your atmosphere shifts. What seemed unbearable becomes bearable. What was closed begins to open. Worship lifts your vision from the pain to the promise, from the hardship to my heart. It does not deny your reality. It overrides it with divine truth. You see, I never asked you to fight like the world fights. I never asked you to win with might. I asked you to stand in praise. I asked you to believe, to trust, to open your mouth even when you don't understand. Because true worship is not born out of comfort. It is born out of conviction. It is when your world shakes, but your song remains. That's when the heavens take notice. And I know, child, that sometimes your worship feels small. I know there are days when all you can do is whisper, God, help me. I want you to know. I hear that. I honor that. I move through that. Worship is not measured by volume, but by the posture of your heart. When your voice trembles with praise, it sounds like thunder in the spirit realm. So make worship your daily weapon. Not just in church, but in your kitchen, in your car, in your room. Make it the first thing your lips speak in the morning and the last sound that fills your night. Let your home be filled with my name. Let your children and grandchildren hear you bless me even when life feels broken. That is how legacy is shaped. That is how atmospheres are shifted. That is how curses are broken. When you worship, you teach the generations behind you what true power looks like. You show them that strength is not found in shouting louder or fighting harder, but in trusting deeper, in surrendering sooner, in praising through the pain. I did not give you worship as a performance. I gave it to you as a lifeline, a gateway into my presence, a refuge when everything else fails. And here's the truth, child. When you enter into my presence with worship, I step into your battle with power. You are not alone. You are not unarmed. You are a warrior clothed in humility, with a song that splits the heavens and shifts the earth. You are not weak when you worship. You are strongest when your hands are lifted, not in defeat, but in devotion. So rise each day with praise on your tongue. Meet every fear with my name. And let your worship be a declaration that I, your God, am still on the throne. This is your warfare. This is your strength. And this, my child, is how the battle is won. My dear one, you've come far. You've heard my voice calling you to break chains, to walk in humility, and to fight your battles through worship. But now I must speak to you about something more difficult, something sacred that most overlook. I must talk to you about gratitude, not the kind you offer when things are easy, but the kind that is birthed in the shadows, the kind that flows when you don't understand what I'm doing, when you can't see me, but still choose to trust me. This kind of gratitude is not common. It is rare, precious, holy, and it is powerful. You see, anyone can be thankful when the blessings are obvious, when the prayers are answered quickly, when the healing comes swiftly, when the doors swing wide without resistance. But what about when the answers are delayed, What about when the path feels dark, when your soul aches, when you pray and nothing seems to move? That's when true trust is revealed. That's when gratitude becomes an offering that moves my heart deeply. I am not absent in the dark. I am not silent because I've left you. Sometimes I am quiet because I'm teaching you to listen differently. Sometimes I'm allowing the silence so your trust can speak louder. And when you choose to thank me even then, when your hands are trembling, when your heart is breaking, that is when your gratitude becomes a weapon stronger than fear. Do you remember the times you've said, "Lord, I don't understand, but I thank you anyway"? That is worship at its highest form. That is love without conditions. That is trust that has roots, not just branches. Gratitude in the dark is not the denial of pain. It is the declaration of my goodness in spite of it. Many want to walk by sight, but I've called you to walk by faith. You are not a child of the visible. You are a child of the eternal. And in this journey, I'm shaping you not just to be a blessing bearer, but a testimony carrier. You are becoming a living story of what it means to trust me when the ground beneath you shifts. Your praise is not surface deep. It has been forged in fire. That's why it carries weight. That's why it breaks atmospheres. I know what you've carried. I know what you've lost. I know the questions that still live in the corners of your heart. Why did it have to happen that way? Why didn't you intervene sooner? Why didn't you heal them? Why did I have to wait this long? I do not condemn you for those questions. I receive them. I hold them. But I also call you to lift your eyes higher. Not to forget the pain, but to trust that even in it, I was working something eternal. Gratitude is the bridge that takes you from pain to peace. It's how you keep your heart from growing bitter. It's how you keep your spirit open to me, even when life disappoints you. When you thank me for what you don't understand, you are planting seeds that will bloom in ways you can't yet imagine. And I promise you this: every time you choose gratitude, the enemy loses ground. He wants your disappointment to lead you to distance. He wants confusion to turn into bitterness. But when you say, "Thank you, God, even in this," you are cutting off his access to your soul. You are choosing to stand in light, even when darkness surrounds you. Gratitude does not mean everything feels good. It means you believe I am still good. And that belief, that quiet, stubborn, faithful belief, is what I use to write miracles into your story. You see, I am not just the God of the light. I am also the God of the shadows. I do not disappear in your pain. I dwell in it with you. I sit beside you in the unknown. And when you lift your eyes and thank me there, you are never more like my son. He too gave thanks before the cross. Not because the cross felt good, but because he trusted what it would produce. And so must you. Your cross, the thing you carry, the weight you bear, it is not the end. It is the path to resurrection. And gratitude is how you carry it without it crushing your spirit. So I ask you, my child, will you thank me even now? Will you thank me not because you understand, but because you believe I am still writing your story? Will you thank me not because the pain is gone, but because you trust I'm using it? Will you look back at your life, even the broken parts, and declare, "You were with me there too"? That is how healing begins. That is how peace returns. And when you do this, something shifts, not just in you, but in the generations that follow. Because they are watching, they are learning. And when they see your gratitude in the storm, they will know that God is real. Not just the God of the mountaintop, but the God of the midnight hour. So bless me when you don't feel like it. Praise me when you're tired. Thank me when the answers are slow. And you will see what others miss. You will see my faithfulness unfolding in the dark. You will see beauty rise from ashes. You will see promises fulfilled in ways more perfect than you imagined. This is not the end. It is the foundation. And your gratitude, whispered in the shadows, is shaking the heavens.